My final injunction is probably the most controversial, but I found that it's one that has served me well in business, which is for the most part, ignore the competition. Um, why do I say ignore the competition? Once you've defined a clear vision, once you've done your homework at the beginning of your process, you looked at the marketplace, you've thought very deeply about what problems you're trying to solve. Um, Looking at the competition for most businesses tends to be a distraction. Building a business that succeeds is hard enough by itself. Executing on a day-to-day basis is a tough thing in most markets, in most businesses. Just making sure that you are delivering to your clients' satisfaction, or you're delivering a product that works the way it's supposed to, is a tough enough thing that continually looking at your competition tends to be a distraction for. So if they introduce a new feature and you rush to introduce the same feature immediately, um, you're probably going off of your own long-term product roadmap. Now, it's not like you're going to ignore the competition permanently, because that way also lies death. But the thing is that on a day-to-day basis, you want to be executing on your own vision. You want to be executing on what it is that you see the consumers say that they want. You want to be speaking to consumers constantly, your buyers, your product users, and you want to be seeing what it is that they care about, what it is that matters, what it is that's working for them, and what it is that isn't working for them. You want to spend all your time and all your energy working on that, rather than sort of looking at looking at the competition and making me too moves. And I find personally that more businesses die by getting distracted by things that don't affect the core of the product or the consumer's experience with their product, than do by being killed by a bigger competitor. In the long term, if you get big enough, then yes, you will have sort of some existential challenges from businesses that are big enough to truly knock you off your path. But for the most part, when you first start, the key thing is to execute a business well enough that there are people who love your product and will passionately sort of like buy and follow you wherever it is that you go. And that is the key thing. Execute, execute, execute. Um, you know, be ruthlessly consumer obsessed, and follow your own strategy, follow your own vision, chart your own path, chart your own path, um, rather than sort of like obsessively checking what it is that your competition will do. Um, and you'll make over the course of your business sort of adjustments as the competitive landscape changes, as your consumers give you more feedback. But I think those tend to be more periodic, and they tend to be sort of more reflective rather than a daily obsession with your competitor. So you want to be obsessed with you want to be obsessed with your consumer and your user rather than being obsessed with your competitor. And that's my perspective. It's a bit controversial, but I found that it works well for me, and I hope it will work well for you in your business.